So there's a show on ABC called 911. I've never seen it. I don't watch propaganda. Like, I don't even watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Or, yeah, that sounds right. But I guess they're doing a new season. And it's going to be a meteor shower that kills a bunch of people. So that's like the big, like, the LAPD's going up against a meteor shower. And people have just been making memes about, like, oh, what's the LAPD gonna fight next? The sun? What are they gonna fight next? Godzilla? A Predator? The Return of Gozer? Scarecrow Fear Toxin? That's so funny. That is... I've been seeing these memes all day. So fucking funny. For a show I will never watch. But genuinely, I think the Scarecrow Fear Toxin one's like a good idea. So we're back today. We're shiny hunting. We're just doing 2 hunts today, specifically Vulpix and Camerupt. What's the baby Camerupt called? Nummel? I think it's called Nummel. Yeah, cause Zummel. Yeah. So we got Vulpix here, and then we're gonna do Nummel in a little bit. And that's it. We literally just have these 2 hunts. There is a third one, Charcadet, but we already hunted Charcadet, like, weeks ago. So we don't need to do that one, so we're not even going to worry about it. I got a nice cold can of Yoo-Hoo, the chocolate drink that denounced Kanye West. At least, God, I hope they did. If you remember a few weeks ago, I was talking about, there was a A&W, one of the root beers, put out an ice cream float, an ice cream sundae root beer. And I liked it. And it would, because it was 1/2 root beer. But then the other half kind of reminded me of... what's it called? Why am I saying you? I'm holding it. It's a Yoo-Hoo. Half of it reminded me of like a root beer float. The other half reminded me of a Yoo-Hoo. And so I was kind of curious. So when I went shopping this week, I was like, you know what? Let me actually pick up some Yoo-Hoo. Did it actually taste like that? Because I'll be honest, it's a crapshoot with Yoo-Hoo. Sometimes I can find them. Sometimes I can't. I did actually pick up something that I forgot to put in my fucking notes. Oh, God, let me... I knew there was a food thing I was forgetting. Okay, I added that to my notes. But yeah, I've got a Yoo-Hoo, so I'm gonna crack it open. I don't know if it's like a big, like, bottle versus can thing. I don't know if that's like a big deal, or if that's something people talk about. Did it taste like that? Honestly, the problem is I ran out of those root beers a while ago. I think it kind of had that, like, chocolatey water aftertaste. If I'm being honest, I know it's just, like, Yoo-Hoo is just, like, chocolate water. It's probably, they take, like, a powder, mix it with water, and call it a day. But I'll be honest, I kind of like it. It's fucking expensive as hell. Like, with most other sodas, it's like I can do like buy one, get one 50% off or whatever. And it applies to everything but the Yoo-Hoo. So yeah, I had to spend an arm and a leg. And if you've ever seen like those soda shopping things, those deals, like buy one, get one 50, is like barely scratching the surface. They get crazy. So tonight, we only have one news story, and it's only tangentially video game related. There were other things that happened, there's a rumored state of play next week. Silksong devs came out and said, like, hey, this is why we made the game so hard. I don't entirely agree with their reasoning. I think the reasoning I gave the other week was much better reasoning. But, whatever. Maybe I'll mention it when we talk about Silksong. And I think that was it. Oh yeah, Nintendo's doing their stupid Pal World lawsuit. And it's fucking bullshit still. You know, with them and their patents and their lawsuits. Yeah, but we're not talking about... I got one news story, and then I've got WIBE, we've got some food stuff, we got some Silksong, and we got some Batman. Because, you know, last week we watched Batman Begins, this week I saw The Dark Knight. Hopefully by this time next week I'll have seen The Dark Knight Returns. That, honestly, half the reason we're doing the show today is because Batman was today, and I was like, well, I do want to talk about Batman. I literally got out of Batman like half an hour ago. I'm fresh off The Dark Knight, because that's like a 2.5 hour long movie. Doesn't feel it. I did not feel the 2.5 hours. But, yeah, that's why we're starting later than, you know, or that's why we're starting at this time. And then next week, it might be another Saturday show because of The Dark Knight Rises. I don't know, because when we did Batman Begins last week, it was like a full, you know, there was some time dilation between that. We'll just kind of have to see how it all shakes out. I'll be honest, it has been a hectic, awful 48 hours. Probably even less than that. It's probably closer to like 30. I'm not going to go into any of the details. Just know it's been a bad time. And I'm not going to cry, but it's been a bad time. And you know what? Let's do some Pokemon and take our minds off of it. So just, yeah, be aware of that going into it. And I got a hell of a week coming up. Work-wise, oh boy, is it going to be busy. I've got a busy upcoming week at work. Oh, let me tell ya. Again, I'm not going to go into any specifics. It's going to be busy. You know my other problem with Yoo-Hoo? Is that even though this is like the same size as any other soda, I just feel like I go through this so much quicker. I don't know what it is, but this is, you know, a standard 16-ounce can. Or 11-ounce can. It's the same size as anything else. And I just go through it. I don't know. Alright, with that, let's get into the news, shall we? We have one story. We legitimately only have a single story. It technically has two parts. There's the main part, which is relevant to the game we're talking about. And then I got a little side addendum thing that I'm going to throw on there just because I can. And it is basically still relevant. And yeah, we're talking about Lego. And hey, look at that, a first shiny. Yeah, we're talking about Lego. We have some, you know, they're doing Lego Pokemon, so we've got some Pokemon news. And that's it. Again, other stuff happened, but you know, I try to fit a certain vibe of this show, and nothing else really fit the vibe. You know, we'll talk State of Play. When we beat Mario Galaxy next week, we'll talk State of Play then. Again, believing that rumor to be true, which I see no reason it wouldn't be. I mean, we'll get a State of Play at some point. The bigger question is the Wolverine thing. That's the bigger one for me, is are we going to get a Wolverine game? And I think it's totally possible. I don't see why we wouldn't get Wolverine at some point. It's just a question of, is it going to be today? Or, you know, next week? Alright, so let's talk Lego. So, Lego is doing Pokemon. They announced, what, earlier this year? I don't remember when. At some point they announced Lego Pokemon. Because while Lego has done, you know, buildable figures in the past, they've done them with, like, Mega Blocks, or Connects, or, you know, construction, or they've done, like, the third-party, like, Lego. That's not actual Lego. But earlier this year, they announced, hey, we're officially teaming up with Lego. We're going to be doing a Pikachu. Holy shit, that was fast. That was 10 minutes to find both Vulpixes. Holy shit. Holy shit, man. That was quick. All right, let's keep going. We're still... God, is this show going to be like 10 minutes long? I got more than 10 minutes of stuff to say, y'all. Pokemon, come on. I mean, please don't make this as hard as the Applin one. If you remember the Applin one, that one was miserable. We were at that for over 2 hours. Which I know is nothing for, like, a Gen 3 Shiny Hunter, but for me, little Babby Shiny Hunter, that sucked. That sucked. I blame my location. Okay, regardless, we know they're doing Lego Pokemon. They revealed a Pikachu tail. Hey, guess what? Lego Pokemon. And then a few weeks ago, it leaked that there were going to be 3 different Lego Pokemon sets. The first one was... so the main thing was we got prices. We got prices and piece counts. And let's see, do I still have the prices? Those... Let me find those real quick. Just give me like 1 second to find those. But yeah, we got some prices and some piece sets. Oh, that's what the back of the Death Star looks like. Yeah. Also, they're doing another Lego mineral. So there was a fan created a Lego Ideas for a mineral set. I liked the original concept of the mineral set. Now that we have the official one, they kind of changed some colors, simplified some shapes, and I don't like it as much as I did the original. I thought the original was really cool, and I think the new one just doesn't look as good. I'm glad they still have the Pyrite. I think the Pyrite's cool. But the rest of it's just not as good. I will still probably maybe buy it. I don't know, it depends on the price. It's 880 pieces. We'll see. I don't know, I'm mostly a flowers guy, but I like just to display stuff. Okay, so we got some Lego sets a few weeks ago. This was 21 days ago, so that was, what, 3 weeks? We got that there are going to be 3 Pokemon sets coming out on February 27th. Pokemon Day. You know, March 1st as well, for, like, general public. The first one is 587 pieces, which is around 60 bucks. The second set is 2,000 pieces, which is around $200. And then the final one is 6,838 pieces at $650. That third Lego Pokemon set is fucking ridiculous. A 6,000 piece Pokemon set. And of course the question was, what the fuck are these 3 sets? We know something's going to be a Pikachu. And my first thought upon seeing these prices, and we might have talked about this in a previous episode, was that I think one of these sets is going to be a Pikachu. I think they are going to do a life-sized Pikachu. Because I googled it, Pikachu at like full height is only like 1 foot 4 inches. He's not that big. I mean, okay, let me actually double check that one. Okay, let's go to Cerebi, databases, Pikachu. Okay, wait. Okay, we're looking for a good Numel. We could do that one. We've got an ice one. Got a beach one. This ice one, because here's the problem. There's not one in the savannah, at least a good one. The hill one, the last hill one for Plusle went really well. But I know that's where the guy spawns. What's his name? The Cleavor. So maybe not there. Coastal Biome, both those look to be in the water. That's probably not good. That's gotta be on the mountain. Because that's the gym. Yeah, we should probably go with this one. Yeah. Alright, wait. While we're loading in, Pikachu. Okay, I found Pichu. I'm sure from there I can find Pikachu. Pikachu is... yeah, 1 foot 4. So I was completely right. So it's 16 inches. At that height, Earlier this year, Lego released a Tuxedo Cat. That Tuxedo Cat set was, I want to say that was a foot. I want to say that Tuxedo Cat was a foot tall. And that set was only 1,700 pieces. I think at 2,000, Lego could make a life-size Pikachu. So I think that 2,000 piece set is a life-size Pikachu. That leaves questions about the other two. What the heck is the $60 set? And I'll be honest, I have no idea. I have no idea what that $60 set could be. Could be anything. If I'm being honest, you know, could be a trainer, could be another smaller Pikachu. I honestly could totally see a Pokeball. If they want to do like a Pokeball, you know, that you could display next to your Pikachu, I think that's totally realistic. But then, what about that other set? The $650 set. At 6,836 pieces. What is that? So, the whole reason we're talking about the story this week is that allegedly that set, if you know the 2001 is a life-size Pikachu, the 6,000 piece set, which is basically 3 of those life-size Pikachu, makes sense because it's a life-size Bulbasaur, a life-size Charmander, and a life-size Squirtle. They're going to be selling all 3 of them together. I don't know why. Can I be honest? I think it's kind of weird that they're not doing them individually. I think $650 for a Lego set is kind of ridiculous. I know Lego is now very much an adult hobby. You know, it used to be big with kids, but now it's for kids and adults, and they're making a lot of adult sets. I get that. There's a lot of adults have money, you know, and people like me who, you know, are revisiting their childhoods love shit like that. All that stuff, totally understandable. But I think it would make more sense to break, if you're going to do Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, break them up into different sets. Because, like, you know, also with the price, there's a $1,000 Death Star. That's crazy. That is crazy. But if you're doing Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur, break them up and encourage people to buy their favorite. You know, oh yeah, I'm a Squirtle kid. Of course I'm going to buy Squirtle. I feel like they're probably thinking that, oh, by packaging all 3 of them together, you know, that forces people to buy all 3 so that way they get their favorite. And to be fair, they're right. For a lot of people who love Charmander, who love Bulbasaur, you know, they're gonna buy all 3 just to get the one they really like and the other 2 as well. I get that. But I would have liked it if they were all just individual. I feel like, you know, letting people pick their favorite Pokemon. But I guess it's, hey, you can pick all 3 starters or a Pikachu. Which, yeah, it's a Pikachu. I get it. I totally get it. I don't know if this set's going to do well. I mean, scalpers are going to buy it, but scalpers are going to fucking buy anything. It's a question, will the scalpers make money off of it? Because, I don't know, people already go crazy for Lego. People go crazy for Pokemon. Combining those 2 things sounds awful. That sounds like an awful experience. I have no intentions of buying any of this Lego Pokemon stuff. To be fair, I have some of the Lego Mario stuff. I love me some Lego Zelda. I think, you know, I got that Zelda set for Christmas, and I love it. I'm eyeing up, they did a Batman the Animated Series, Gotham City Skyline. It goes into retirement this year, and before it goes out of production, I'm eyeing that thing up right now. But that fucker's like $300. So, like, this is, like, $300 is maybe my upper limit. That's the price of a full fucking Switch right there. So, yeah, $650 for life-size Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Pikachu. Or Charmander. That's not for me. That will never be for me. But, hey, we'll see. So, of course, that's not the only part of this rumor. The other bits that came out was these are not the only Pokemon sets. These are just, the three I've just talked about are the sets coming out on Pokemon Day. I don't think that is. So, with Shiny Numel, I'm looking at a picture right now. Literally, the only difference between Numel and Shiny Numel is that the shiny one's a little lighter and has a slightly blue back. That's it. That's the only difference. And I don't think that's... I see, the problem is, I've been doing these shiny hunts long enough that I've learned that what looks like a lighter yellow in the game's lighting can sometimes just look like a normal yellow. But I don't think that's it. Yeah. I've completely lost track of how many we're doing. I think we've hit 60. I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah. So, there, these three sets aren't the only sets. Allegedly, throughout all of next year, there are going to be 20 Pokemon sets available at retail. So that's a set every few weeks. I wonders... So the one I'm big on is the botanical sets. I love me the botanical sets. The Four Gentlemen are fantastic. How many flower sets have there been this year? Okay, there's the pink bouquet of pink roses, which comes out like 2 weeks. Mini bonsais, the hibiscus, the happy plants, who are very cute. I have them. Japanese maple, petite sunny bouquet, mixed flower pot, and flower arrangement. There are 7 to 8 flower sets, and there's allegedly going to be 20 Pokemon sets. There's only been one Zelda set so far. There's probably been like 20 Mario sets. I would not be surprised if there are. Oh yeah, there's been oh my god, there are so many Mario sets. Okay, what about the interactable playable Mario? How many of those are there? Okay, the NES. The question block from Super Mario 64. The Mighty Bowser, which that's another set that retires this year, and I don't know. I don't think I want it. The Piranha Plant. The Yoshi and Mario. The Blue Shell, the Mario Kart, and then the Game Boy, which they're also counting. Yeah, I guess that counts. There have only been 8 Mario sets, and they're going to allegedly do 20 Pokemon. Now, allegedly, potentially as part of that 20, or in addition, they're also going to do promo sets. Whether that's like a Lego Insiders reward, or a Brickhead. A promo set could also be a Brickhead. I could totally see them make Brickheads of Pikachu, of Ash Ketchum, of Charmander, Ivysaur, or Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. Admittedly, I'm sure I don't know. Do they do small Brickheads? The only Brickhead I've ever bought is the Batman one. They did like a 9-in-1 Batman, so I have a Batman the Animated Series Batman. How many Brickheads? I've still got the Lego app open. I hope we got time to kill. Lego DC. Aren't Brickheads like their own thing? Okay, Animal Crossing Bloom. Oh wait, these are alphabetical. Okay, there we go. I didn't realize it was alphabetical. Have they ever done like a small... I guess they could make Ivysaur, a little bigger. Yeah, they've done like Car. Okay, they did like Transformers. Hey, there's my... Oh, it was an 8-in-1 Batman, not a 9-in-1. Okay, they've messed around with the shape before. So I think it'll be fine. I think, if they wanted to do, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, they totally could. I could totally... Charmander and Squirtle, I 100% see. It's just Bulbasaur's a different shape. I could totally see a Charizard. Honestly, I think that'd be cooler. Doing, like, the big figures of the first stages, and then doing brickheads of the final stages. You know, kind of inversing it. I think that'd be cool. So, throughout these 20 sets, all of them are going to come in 3 waves. So, our first wave comes in February on Pokemon Day. And then our second wave, and potentially our third wave, come in summer. So it'll be sometime in summer. Nope, not that one. Our first wave is going to be, buildable Pokemon. And the first wave is aimed more at adults. You know, the people with the money. The second phase, meanwhile, in the summer, they're going to be smart builds. So you know that Mario Lego that everybody hates because it's not a minifigure? You know, they made a Lego Mario, but he's got this big chunky body and these dead eyes, unless you put batteries in it. Allegedly, they're going to be doing something similar with the Pokemon. And they're going to have, like, a smart brick in them that will allow Pokemon to battle. And I'll be honest, I think there's a good... If they do, like, enough of them, I love the idea of, like, buildable Pokemon. That, like... know, like, oh, if I'm touching a red thing, that, you know, I've got a Bulbasaur, I put it against a red thing, it knows it's a fire type, and it takes double damage or whatever. Like, that'd be cool. There's a potential cool idea of having the, like, the Lego Pokemon brickheads or whatever be able to battle. Supposedly, the Lego Pikachu tail we've already seen is from this buildable Pikachu that you can battle with the smart brick in it. Okay, I totally see that as a possibility. I don't know, Nintendo doesn't do like toy, right? Nintendo doesn't want just, hey, here's something you can build. They love that interactable feature. They love having that little embellishment that makes it more interesting. Does that mean we have gotten more bad Mario sets than good ones? Yeah, kind of. Because they're like, for every the 9 Mario sets I just listed, there were probably 100 that I didn't. There are so many like little costumes and little buildable sets for that Lego interactive Mario figure, but I don't know anybody who likes those little Lego interactive Marios. I think the actual, like the Mario riding the Yoshi, the Mario Kart, those are all so much cooler. Those are the kind of shit I want Lego to make. I want a okay, I'll be honest. People in Lego love minifigures. As I've learned over the past, like, year plus of getting back into Lego, people really care about minifigures. Minifigures are very important. And I'll be honest, I just don't care. I'm just not a big minifigure guy. It's not really my style. But, you know, Mario doesn't have a minifigure. He's instead just got the playable one, whereas Link and Zelda did get them. And that's, like, such a big deal for Lego fans. I guess. I don't know all the details. But yeah, I would want more Mario sets. Like the Yoshi riding Mario, or the Mario Kart, or the Zelda set. Admittedly, do I want them to be a little cheaper? Yes. But that's what I care more about. The idea, if they do a buildable Pikachu, like the Tuxedo Cat set that came out earlier this year. At least I think it was earlier this year. It might have been last year. That would be fantastic. I see the potential in that. But I do also think you do need some cheaper sets, because at the end of the day, Pokemon is for kids. I know mostly millennials play it. Well, in Gen Z. Like, not that many Gen Alphas are playing Pokemon, unless, like, their parents were into it. But Pokemon is still for kids at the end of the day. You need some of these sets to be affordable to kids. Problems with the Mario figures aside, those are more or less for kids. And, you know, you can play with them. You can do shit with them. You know, hey, they have more functionality than Amiibo. I'll give them that. But I don't know. I have no intention of picking up any Lego Pokemon. The big thing, it's kind of like, I said the same thing with the Pokemon, like, Funko Pops and Squishmallows. I'm gonna wait until they do, like, ones I care about. Like, once they do a Pokemon I give a shit about, sure, I'm there. But right now, they're just sticking to, like, the starters. And I like Fuecoco, I like Sprigatito, but I want it to be someone I actually care about. Same thing with, like, the Funko Pops. Like, they've done some cool Pokemon Funko Pops, I guess. Technically, I do own a Pokemon Funko Pop. Someone gave me Mimikyu. I know exactly who. I'm just not saying. And, you know, I appreciate that. That was cool. But, you know, it's not one of those things I would have bought on my own. No. Now, the Pokemon merch I do like. Those fucking sitting cuties. So, side tangent. I love Gen 7. Gen 7, while it may not be the best gen, it's a good one. Don't get me wrong. It is. But what I specifically love is I love the Pokemon. I think Gen 7 has so many good Pokemon. And some of my favorites are the Ultra Beasts. I don't know what it is, but I love the Ultra Beasts. The way they break Pokemon's design philosophies in order to be more creative, in order to be more interesting, while just being like weird and alien. I think the Ultra Beasts are so cool. The only Ultra Beast I don't like is fucking Poipole. And that's because Poipole looks like any other Pokemon. It doesn't look alien enough to me. And I hate the fact that it's not a 3-stage. Like, they explain in Poipole's Dex entry that it is a starter Pokemon in an alien universe, and, you know, somewhere else in Ultra Space. I think that is an amazing idea. The idea of there being, like, an Ultra Beast starter, you know, for somewheres in Ultra Megalopolis, and, you know, instead of having a grass, a water, and a fire, they have a poison, a steel, and, I don't know, something else. Trying to think of Pokemon triangles. Let's see. Poison. Does this one... I just looked up Pokemon triangles, and of course that one doesn't have poison on it. So yeah, like, imagine like an alternate Pokemon universe where instead of having, you know, grass, water, and fire, they have poison, bug, and psychic. Like, wouldn't that be neat? I like that idea, and that's what Poipole promises. And then it completely misses because it evolves into Naganadel, and it's a 1-stage. Like, okay, maybe in this alternate universe, starter's only 2-stage instead of 1-stage. I think that's lazy. I think an alternate universe starter should be 3 stages, and they should have these weird design conventions. Like, Poipole has so much promise that I feel like it just fails on. That's why it's the only Ultra Beast I don't like. Every other one, I love. I love Buzzwole. Buzzwole is so good. I love Xurkitree. Xurkitree might be my favorite. I'm gonna be honest. It just being this weird, like, Christmas tree with this weird electric globe with spikes on it, and it's got electrical cords for arms and feet, kind of like a Squidward. It is so weird, but it is so good. I love Guzzlord, you know, our Schling King, you know, who just screams. He is so cool. I think Guzzlord is a great, like, weird alien legendary. And it's basically just fucking Alioth from, like, Marvel. It's that, like, same concept. I love it. I love the Ultra Beasts. So the whole reason I talk about I love the Ultra Beasts, Pokemon, they're doing sitting cuties. It's these small little figures that are designed to sit down. And they've been going generation by generation. So, you know, they were at I remember Jaden Animations did a video on Gen 5. At some point they did Gen 6, and this week or last week they released Gen 7. And that's one of the cool things about Sitting Cuties, in my opinion, is that they don't skip any Pokemon. It's not like, there's always like the same like 20 Pokemon who get merch, Eevee, Pikachu, the starters. It's always the same ones. Every Pokemon gets a Sitting Cutie. Sure, can I not find a Groudon one because they all sold out years ago? Yeah, but I still think they're cool. And now that they're doing Gen 7 Sitting Cuties, I'm like, fuck, I want all those Ultra Beasts. Again, except for the two I dislike. I also like the legendaries. Yeah, Gen 7's Solgaleo's okay, but Lunala's fantastic. Necrozma is also great. The blinding one, that's also good, but I think I like normal Necrozma better. I guess blinding one is technically normal Necrozma. It's complicated, It's like origin form Giratina, it's complicated. But no, I fucking love these Sitting Cuties, and I want them all. I want all my Ultra Beasts. Plus I could pick up Meteor. Just imagine the day when Duraludon, my favorite, gets one. Actually, Duraludon does already have a plush. I know it does. I don't know. I don't think it's from any set or anything, but there is a Duraludon plush. I know because I do have it. I used it in a video on YouTube or on TikTok. Yeah. All right. Okay. So Pokemon Lego sets aside, of that I'm not gonna buy. One set I might buy, however, still on the same subject. They're doing another Zelda set. Around the same time all these Pokemon leaks are happening, there's also rumors of another Zelda set. Specifically, they're going to be doing a Lego Ocarina of Time Ganondorf diorama. So it's not going to be, another Great Deku Tree. My guess is it's going to be the final boss fight of Ocarina of Time. Whether that's going to be at the top of the pillars with, the stained glass in the background, or it's going to be, minifigure Link and Zelda fighting Ganon as a giant boar figure. We don't know. It's going to be some sort of Ganon figure. Allegedly, there is going to be a Ganondorf minifigure. Because, again, people really do give a shit about that. Let me see. Do I still have it loaded? I did some point. Yeah, so allegedly there's going to be an Ocarina of Time. It's going to have Ganondorf. And I'll be honest, I think that's cool. It's going to be 1,000 pieces, a little over 1,003 pieces, and it's going to come out March 1st, 2026. So around the same time as the first 3 Pokemon sets. And that might be one I pick up, depending on how it looks. My hope, if they say it's going to be a Ganondorf diorama, if that's what they're going with, I kind of hope it's there's a Lego set, there's a Lego Minecraft set, where it's a crafting table. And inside the crafting table, there's a little Minecraft world. Honestly, it is a set I do own. It's the only good Lego Minecraft set, in my opinion. Because Minecraft has always kind of made Lego feel irrelevant. Okay, that's harsh. They're doing different things. As a kid, that's definitely how I felt. But it's a really cool, this Lego crafting table that's, a Minecraft world. I think is really neat. It's like I said, the only good Minecraft set. Maybe that and the Creeper. Because a lot of them are are just oh yeah, woo, oh, you get to see, an end village in Minecraft. Oh, woo, you get to make a giant fox that you can go inside. I don't care. I don't care about stuff I could build in game. But this diorama, that's the cool shit. It's a micro build. I kind of hope the Ocarina of Time one is the same way, where we're building a room with 2 walls. We've got Link on the on the base with a sword. You've got Ganondorf, and there's a rod where you can have him floating in the air, and you've got another rod that's got a ball of light on it that you were reflecting back, and they're playing tennis. I think that'd be cool. I think there's potential there. I could also totally see it being like the ruins of the castle, and there's like a brick built Beast Ganon. I think that is also totally possible. But I like the idea of a Ganon, of the Lego Ganon diorama. I still think a good one is Wind Waker. I think the King of Red Lions would make a fantastic Lego set, but that's just me. But no, I think this is great. I think, you know, I want more Lego Zelda. The one set we have is really cool. It's maybe my favorite set. Maybe. But I want more. I want more. And finally, like almost a full year later, we're getting more. And yeah, that's it. That's our one news story. Gotta talk about, you know, we're playing Pokemon. I might as well talk about it. And in that time, just, you know, we found 2 Vulpixes and 0 Nummels. Fuck, I jinxed us, didn't I? I totally did. Alright, let's talk WIBE. So we got two food things, I guess. The first one is Jack in the Box. You know, it's fall. A lot of places have already started putting out pumpkin spice. And Jack in the Box released their Halloween menu this week. So I did try it out. So we'll talk about that. Got a new Fanta. I really feel like I haven't had much luck in the soda. Like, outside of that one root beer, I have not had much luck in the soda game recently. Like, I tried to get that the Crush back to the 80s, because it was blue raspberry. And I like a good blue raspberry. And I just could not find it. Soda's always been kind of hit and miss for me. But I was able, you know, I found one completely on accident. Wasn't even looking for it. So I do want to talk about that. I also did, they have a Kool-Aid, a Halloween Kool-Aid, and I saw it, but it was on a pallet, and I was like, do I want to, you know, dig through this pallet just to pull out a box of Kool-Aid? Nah, and there were no employees around or anything, and I was like, fuck it, no, I don't want to deal with that. That's, you know, that's above my pay grade. So I didn't deal with that. We got that video game. I've literally only played Silksong. I have not had much time this week. So I have not played much video game, but I did play Silksong, so we'll talk about it. You know, I've made some progress for sure. And then we've got Batman, you know? I saw a Batman movie today. So of course we're going to talk about The Dark Knight. Like, duh. Still have not watched Man of Steel. Remember when I said, oh, after we did Superman Returns, I was like, next week we'll do Man of Steel. And then I just never saw Man of Steel. I was going to. The Superman released on HBO Max this week. And I was like, oh, shit. That's, you know, I should watch that again. Because I love that movie. I don't know where it's going to rank on my end of the year movie stuff. There haven't been too many amazing movies this year, but the ones that were amazing are all in very close contention right now, at least from what I've seen. And I'm not a young man anymore. I do not watch as many movies as I used to. I do want to see The Long Walk, though. Some point I will get around to I was gonna do it this week, and you know, shit came up. I didn't get around to it. I'll try again next week. Will I? Probably not. Another thing, I did not watch Knights of Guinevere. I know Dana Terrace with Glitch Animations. It came out yesterday. Again, shit happened yesterday. I wasn't even going to try it. I saw it and was like, yep, watch later. I'll get around. I didn't get around to it today. You know, I was too busy with Silksong. Ooh, God. Yeah. I did put a lot of time into it, though. So, yeah, we got that. Alright, let's start off with Jack in the Box. So, Jack in the Box does a Halloween thing. You know, Jack in the Box loves their holidays. Well, okay, they specifically like Halloween, and they like 420. That's kind of their two big ones. I really can't think of much Christmas stuff they've done. but I know they're big into Halloween. So this year they have a whole Halloween themed menu. So there's what they're calling the Monster Munchie Meal. I did get it. Again, pre-COVID, Munchie Meals were $6 after like 10 o'clock or whatever. They were $6. They came with a burger, fries, both regular and curly, 2 tacos, and a drink for $6. Nowadays, this Monster Munchie Meal came with a 4-piece nugget, seasoned curly fries, 2 tacos, I think it was 2 tacos, and a mozzarella stick for $13. Fucking ridiculous. I think, oh my gosh. Like, the normal Munchie Meal isn't, because that's now also probably like 12 or 13 bucks. That's not much better, but oh my god, these prices. And Jack in the Box was the cheap one. They, you know, I always used to say they were the Little Caesars of burger places. Admittedly, I respect Little Caesars like way more. Like, I have respect for Little Caesars, and I kind of respect Burger King, even if I don't like them. This stupid pillar. This pillar is throwing me... This is like the 4th one. Where, like, they're in, like, the shadow of the pillar or right under it. And I just can't tell. Because they kind of look wrong. Whatever. So, yeah. I think this is very expensive for the price. And, yeah, I've mentioned this before. Jack in the Box kind of lost me a while ago. I'll be honest. I don't hate them, but for their quality, their price is just way too high. Just way too high. But, you know, I was still curious. I'm not going to talk about the nugs or the curly fries. Those don't matter. Those, who cares? There was also a cup. I didn't mention that. Oh, woo, a cup. Okay, who cares? I mean, I'll talk about it. So, the first thing is, let's talk about the Monster Tacos. Jack in the Box has their tacos. I like Jack in the Box's tacos. They're like the one thing that has stayed cheap, usually. I mean, it used to be 2 for $1. Now I think it's 1 for $1, or maybe 2 for $2. They've doubled in price, but they're still honestly pretty decent. Depends on the employee, though. Because some employees pack those things. Others put a little sliver of beef and then just fill the fucker with lettuce. Really depends on the employee or who's doing it. To be fair, the same is kind of true of Taco Bell, though. So the idea behind a Monster Taco is like, hey, what if we made tacos like it was, 2006, and shrinkflation hadn't completely ruined everything yet? So I want to say these things were actually like $3. I don't know. I'd have to pull up my thing. I want to say it was like $3 for these tacos, for 2 tacos. Yeah, $3 for 2 tacos. Honestly, not terrible. How much is 2 tacos? 2 tacos is $1.29. But I see there's an offer to get them for 99 cents. So I guess 2 tacos is still 99 cents. Okay, honestly, that's not bad. For having only gone up 30 cents, that's way better than I thought. But so basically for the price of, for the price of 6 tacos, you can get these Monster Tacos. And the Monster Tacos are basically double the size of a normal taco. It's a bigger shell, there's more meat, there's more cheese, more beef. They're just bigger. And yeah, that's nice. I think they at least taste like the normal Jack in the Box taco. Because if you don't know, the Jack in the Box tacos are fried. Like, they pack all that shit in the shell, and then they fry those fuckers. And honestly, I'm not a big crunchy taco guy. I prefer a soft taco. Jack in the Box is one of the, like, Jack in the Box and the Doritos Locos taco are like the 2 exceptions. I don't know. Yeah, sure. Is it bad for you? Of fucking course it is. But I still like it. What can I say? Again, it depends on how much the employee actually puts into it. And yeah, these were not bad. They got good meat. They've got good stuff in them. I liked them. didn't, you know, it's a Jack in the Box taco. I knew exactly what I was getting. I got exactly that. I'm not mad at all. Honestly, if you're looking for a cheap taco, not the worst place to go. It's no Taco Bell, but, you know. Do I respect Taco Bell? I don't know. Kind of. I mean, I don't despise... I can tell you I don't despise them. They're not like Macca's, where I'm just like, fuck you, man. Or they're not like... What's another place I hate? Like, because, like, I'll eat at Wendy's. I don't respect Wendy's. I don't know. So yeah, I had that. So the monster tacos are fine. Next up is their monster mozzarella stick. So instead of, you know, doing a little, like a side of mozzarella sticks, which they might normally have on their menu, I honestly don't know. Let me see, do they just have normal mozzarella sticks? If they do, I don't see them. Instead, they have this monster mozzarella sticks. So this is a giant mozzarella stick. It is 6 inches, fried, battered, and it's okay. You know, I know, is it stunt food or is it good food? It definitely leans more on the stunt food. I think what works about a mozzarella stick is you gotta find that good ratio of cheese to bread. I know some people disagree. I know some people are big on the cheese. I personally think it's good for a ratio. I'll kind of say the same thing about like a burger. Like, I do think there is a good ratio of bun to meat. I know some people are all about the meat, you know, you gotta have that triple, that quadruple patty, you know, whatever the fuck Bubble Bass was doing. Admittedly, that's too much bread. If you've seen the Bubble Bass burger, that's way too much. Especially with it being Texas toast and everything. But yeah, so I lean more towards, you know, you gotta find a balance there. This one, you know, it's got a lot of cheese if you want that. It's got less breading, but it's also, you know, this is still a fast food mozzarella stick. There's only so much you can expect from a fast food mozzarella stick. Okay, I thought so. It looked, so, okay, it looks a little lighter. You can kind of see it, like the yellow's a little bit more dim. Or, I guess grayed out's probably the word I'm looking for. So yeah, fast food mozzarella stick, not bad. Or as they go, I have definitely had worse. I don't know when the last time you had like a Sonic burger mozzarella stick or like a Burger King one. This is better than both of those, but they're nowheres compared to like some of the other ones you can get because it's a fast food one. I did realize though, I don't like Jack in the Box's like marinara sauce. Like it came with 2 things, like little things of marinara. I still have one of them. I only used one because I don't think you needed to. Admittedly, I'd rather have more sauce than less sauce. Again, one of the things I fucking hate about McDonald's is I feel like they don't give enough sauce. But yeah, I'd rather have more than less. But I just don't like Jack in the Box's marinara. It's kind of like how I don't like Sonic's cheese. Have you ever had Sonic's cheese sauce? Specifically, like, the ones you get with, like, the pretzel. That's the one I'm talking about. That shit's awful. And yeah, I thought the mozzarella stick was better without the marinara, or I just used some that I already had. Like, because I did pizza the other night. And yeah, that was way better. So yeah, I don't like Jack in the Box's mozzarella, but other than that, it is a perfectly fine mozzarella stick. I've had better, but I've also had worse. So yeah, okay, Jack in the Box. You know, I think they're normal. I swear they've had mozzarella sticks in the past, and yeah, that's probably on par with that. It was okay. It was okay. It could have been worse. It definitely could have been worse. I'll say that. Because I definitely went into that very negative. No, I've definitely had worse. And then the next thing, like I said with the munchie, there was also a color changing cup. It's like a white cup that when you pour cold liquid into it, it becomes Purple, okay. Luckily they don't serve the drink in it. Like, they just gave me like a normal cup with the drink, and then they gave me a bag with the cup in it. Because I'll be honest, I completely forgot that this came with a cup until I got home and I opened the bag and I was like, this is a heavy, this is a big bag for, because I also got a burger. I just got a normal jumbo jack with all this stuff. Because I wanted a burger. Like, the 4-piece nug, whatever. I wanted a burger. And yeah, and I was like, what else is in here? And yeah, sure enough, there was a color changing cup. Yes, I did. I was like, oh, does it actually? What does this look like? It changes purple. Admittedly, I put like a reddish purple drink in it. So, yeah. But yeah, color changing plastic cup. I don't know. It was whatever. I have it now. It'll go with my, plastic McDonald's cup that I got a few weeks ago that hopefully doesn't have lead paint in it. Hopefully neither of them do. I know, I've always found the best use for those those restaurant cups like that. They're good chocolate milk cups. I don't go out of my way to get chocolate milk. Usually only when I get donuts. But I think there's definitely such a thing as too much chocolate milk. But I feel like that McDonald's Land cup, I only use for chocolate milk, and I feel like it does a good job. And then there were two other things that they also had. They have a Cookie Monster shake. It is a shake, but it's got Chips Ahoy in it. It's got like a Chips Ahoy like sauce. Yeah, it's not bad. It might also have Oreo in it. I don't remember. But yeah, it was not bad. Or it's not Cookie Monster. It's Monster Cookie. Excuse me. It is a thick shake blended with Chips Ahoy syrup and Oreo cookie crumbs. And yeah, it wasn't bad. Jack in the Box actually, I think, has decent shakes. Yeah, sure, there are better places, but I've also definitely had worse. So, not bad there. And finally, they had a Monster Churro. Jack in the Box normally has mini churros that I kind of like. And yeah, the Monster Churro is just, they call it a Monster Churro. It's just, Jack in the Box normally they do mini churros. The Monster Churro is just a regular sized churro. It doesn't have any like powdered sugar on it. Not powder. How most like churros are like dusted with sugar and whatnot. It doesn't have any of that. So if you don't like that, this might actually be a decent one for you. At least mine didn't, and I honestly kind of like that. I think Jack in the Box churros are fine. This was a fine churro. It didn't, again, the reason I keep bringing up the whole mini big thing, I like normal Jack in the Box tacos. I do not like their tiny tacos. Even though the tiny tacos are just small versions of the regular tacos, they taste completely different. And I think the tiny tacos taste terrible. They do not taste like the big ones. Probably because those, like the regular tacos, they might like put together in the restaurant. The tiny ones, they definitely don't. Those are just frozen and dropped in a fryer. And you can taste the difference. At least I like to think you can. So yeah, I don't like the tiny tacos. But, the big tacos are good. I like the mini churros. I think the Monster Churro is fine. So that's Jack in the Box. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, there are worse places you could go right now. I'll say that much. I do think it was a little bit too expensive, but food was perfectly fine and serviceable. Next up, let's talk fruit punch. So Fanta is doing a Halloween collaboration. They have 4 Halloween sodas. I'll be honest, I only saw 2 of them when I went to I was just, I was shopping, I was looking for stuff. I passed by the Halloween display, and I saw them on an end cap, and was like, fuck it, sure, why not? I didn't pick up, they have like a Fanta Orange Five Nights at Freddy's one. I'm pretty sure it's just a normal Fanta Orange, but with Freddy coloring on it. I'll be honest, I don't care for that. I think they have a pineapple, like a Michael Myers pineapple, that's just their normal pineapple soda. Okay, I didn't care for that one either. And then there's another one that I'm forgetting. I don't remember what the other one is. I don't even think they had a 4th one, but I want to say I've seen promo for a 4th one. But, so those are the three that are just recolorings, you know, they're normal sodas on special packaging. The other one, though, is they have, like, a killer fruit punch, which has Chucky on it. As far as I know, Fanta normally doesn't do a fruit punch. Normally. I could be totally wrong. I could be totally wrong about this. I'll be honest, I don't really... Unless I'm going to, actually, a place like Jack in the Box, I don't really get Fanta Orange. I'm not a big Fanta guy. I'm definitely not a Crush guy. I can't even tell you the last time I got a Crush. But I'm not a big Fanta guy. What am I? Am I a Dr. Pepper guy? I guess I'm a Dr. Pepper guy. But yeah, so I was like, oh, fruit punch? Sure, let's try that. That sounds good. And honestly, pretty good. I don't think I've ever had a Fanta fruit punch. Pretty good. It's, you know, it's a little more tart than I would expect a fruit punch to be, but not in like a bad way. Like, I've had some tart sodas this year. This was one of the better tart sodas. So, not bad, Fanta. I liked your Chucky fruit punch. Am I gonna get it again? If I can find it, yeah. I honestly think it was... Because me and my roommates have almost gone through them. Like, I bought them on, like, Tuesday, and here we are on Saturday, and I think there's, like, 2 left. So, yeah, they're solid. It's just a fruit punch, but it's a good fruit punch. So, hey, maybe I'll have to see if Fanta just normally makes fruit punch. They might. I don't know. I like a good... What can I say? I like a... If you've never... They used to have Tiki fruit punch, if you've never had that. I used to find it at, like, Sam's or Costco or one of those. That shit is so good. I don't think you can find it anymore. I'm pretty sure whoever made it's, like, long gone. But that was the best soda ever. And so, yeah, I like a good fruit punch. I guess I am a fruit punch guy. And, yeah. I don't care for, like... Not high C. What's that drink that never gets cold? Not high C. Hawaiian Punch? I do not care for Hawaiian Punch. I like a cold drink. I don't like that Hawaiian Punch doesn't get cold. Not for me. But okay, that's my food things. Let's talk about Silksong. So where we left off in Silksong, I was kind of lost. Like, I was in the desert. I had beaten the Conehead boss on my first try, and I just couldn't get a map. The big thing, I'm very big on, you know, it's a Metroidvania. I'm a very big believer in the map. I just didn't have any maps, and I felt so lost. Literally, from, kind of like last time, like when I first started playing the game, turns out I was like 10 steps away from getting the dash. Yeah, it turns out from where I left off, I was like 10 steps away from finding the bell door. There's this door, it has like 5 holes on it, and you have to ring these special bells to put one of the bells in the door, and once you get all 5, the door will open. Okay. Also, full spoilers ahead, by the way. Full spoilers for all of Act 1, more or less. So I was at the bell door, and I was like, I'd already had 3 of the bells. And I was like, okay, cool. I get the quest to open the bell door. I admittedly did not know that the quest told you where the other 2 bells were. I only found that out after I finished, right before I finished it. But regardless, at the bell door. Okay, let's, you know, go other places. We're stuck in the desert. I don't have a map. I don't have the money to get a map. Let's go get some money and go find out where the map lady is. That was like 6 hours ago. I still have not found the map lady. I found her once in like Wormwood. It was like Wormwood or something like that. There was like this worm named area that were like these worms like fall from the ceiling, and it kind of reminds me of like the millipedes from the first Hollow Knight. And I found her there. I didn't have the money to buy a map. I went and I got the money to get a map. And immediately after that, I went back to her. She was gone. I have no idea where the fuck she went, and I haven't seen her since. I am missing the map of Greymoor. The map of... I have the Bell map. I've got, like, Bellheart. I've got that map. But the area right next to Bellheart, I'm missing. I'm missing, you know, the Wormwood area. I'm missing the desert area. I have the slab, but only because as part of the quest to get out of the slab, you get the map. And I also have the map to the Citadel, but that's kind of the same thing. So yeah, that sucked. That sucked. I had no idea where to go. So after that, it's like, okay, let me just wander around. I eventually made my way back to Bone Burrow, where I found out there's a quest board. Had no idea there's a quest board. I did some of the quests in Bone Burrow, turned some of those in. I'd been picking up side quests along the way, collecting the stuff, and then I just never turned any of them in. So, like, there's an early one to collect, like, these moonberries. I went and did that one. There's one to collect, like, these, like, ploop hearts. I turned that one in. I was just kind of going around. Eventually, I found one of the bells. There's a bell in... So, when you first enter Greymoor from... Farfollow, something like that. When you first enter Greymoor, you have a choice to go left or right. If you go right, you'll run into the map lady, who will tell you, like, hey, there's some very difficult enemies ahead. Maybe go the other way and then come back later. And I was like, okay, map lady, sounds good. Also, I didn't have enough money to buy her map, so I was like, okay, I'll just do that later. So I went the other direction, and, you know, that's where I ended up fighting the Morwink. This time, I was like, okay, let's go that other direction. Turns out that's where the Craws are. The Craws are, you know, crows. They're little crow bugs, and they fucking suck. There's a room where you have to fight a bunch of different... You're in, like, a temple, and you have to fight a bunch of these different Craws. I spent an hour just trying to get through that room. It's like you have to fight a craw. Specifically, the ones that kill me are not the big... There's like a big one with like a needle that like stabs you. That one I don't hate as much. The one I really hate is the one that throws like 3 shurikens at you or like 3 needles. Those guys fucking suck. I hate those ones. So the craw room took me like forever. And I'd have to run all the way back from like... the bar. There's a bar on the other side, and I'd have to run all the way from there back to the temple. Eventually, after like an hour, I beat it. Turns out right after you beat the temple, you can then climb up. I can't remember, you might be able to do this before, but I think you have to beat the temple first. After you do the temple, you like flip a switch which makes all these balloons appear, and you can use the balloons to get to the bell. So I did that. I got my 4th bell. Okay. After that, it went to wandering around. I found the flea circus I think I found the flea circus earlier, but I did that, moved them to Greymoor. Still don't have a map for Greymoor. That still sucks. I'm in Bellheart. I see there's a way up. Can't go up. Okay, well, hey, there's a room with the Bell Beast. Hey, there's a secret passage here. Maybe this leads somewheres. It just leads back to the Marrows. Fuck. Still lost. So I wander around for a while. There's an enemy that people hate. So the 2 enemies that I know people hate are the Morwing and this other guy, whose name I do not remember. But he's this thing, it's a big fat thing, and it like rams into you. It like flies around, and it summons enemies. It drops them from cages. And so you have to fight this thing that does 2 damages per hit, as well as any enemies it summons. And I had heard people fucking hated this thing. I don't know if this is... Because by this point, the patch had come out, and they had already, like, nerfed some things. I'm so glad that the pits in the desert area don't do 2 damage anymore. Like, the worms in the desert used to do 2 damage. They don't anymore. They now only do 1. Thank you. Oh my gosh, that had cost me so many lives. It at least cost me a few. Especially when you're like going back and you've got to do a hard jump, whatever. So I eventually found that thing. I don't remember. I think I found it in Hunter's March. Because at some point I went back to Hunter's March. Still hate the area. Didn't fall for the bench trap. Because that had already been spoiled for me. So I did not fall for the bench trap. But I made it through Hunter's March. Beat that thing. It's like the Shiver Wing or something like that. It took me a few... It definitely took me more than like 1. Took me a few tries. I did that. I found some other... Then that gets you, like, another, like, weave or whatever. I did that. I did a few other things. Because I was just, like, the areas that I was going back and exploring the areas where I already had a map. Because, again, where the hell is the map lady? I still don't know. Because she's not in any of the spots she used to be, and I'll tell you that. And she wasn't on the way up to the Citadel. So I just couldn't find her. Eventually, I make my way back to Bellheart, and I'm like, okay, if I can't go from down, let me try from left and right. Okay, I can't find a way in from Greymoor, let's try the other direction. Eventually, from the other direction, I find a way into Upper Bellheart. I fight this weird, like, it's not a weaver, but it's like a spider thing that took me like 4 tries. Honestly, that one wasn't that hard. But I eventually beat that. That was like a big like reveal moment. Like there's definitely some lore there with like weavers and I don't know. It was the one keeping all the people of Bellheart like hostage. But I beat it. I got the upgrade. I got what I assume is this game's equivalent of like the Dream Nail, but you know, instead of charging you like play some music. So that was a cool get. And from there, it's like, okay, that's the final bell. Let's go up, open the bell door to the Citadel. I get back to the bell door, and there is the last judge. I spent almost 2 hours on the last judge. It's probably actually closer to like an hour and a half. But it took me longer to beat the last judge than it did the Radiance. The Radiance, on my first ever try, only took me an hour. The last judge took me an hour and a half to 2 hours. That thing, and it was funny because I started to figure out its attack pattern. Of course, anytime it used, like, once it gets to its second phase, anytime it used a new move, I instantly died. Like, if I had never seen a move before, oh yeah, it instantly killed me. But, like, I figured out it's kind of like the Morwing. I figured out its patterns relatively early on, and then it was just execution. Because every attack does 2 damage. Accidentally bumping into it does 2 damage. So it took me, 2 hours. But I did eventually beat it. I was getting frustrated, but, you know, I did beat it. And then, I made it into the Citadel. I went in an elevator crashed, and that's where I left off. There, I found a bench, saved, called it a day. Some upgrades I've gotten. I got an upgrade that allows me to heal more hearts, or to heal more masks, but it takes like twice as long. And I was like, you know what, let's try it. It was actually kind of nice to have in the judge, because I have 6 masks, because I found 4 mask shards. So I have 6. So it's basically, he's a 3-shot kill. So instead of having, 2.5 hearts, I have 3 hearts. And it was nice having that, heal more health upgrade, because that meant I healed 2 hearts instead of 1.5. So I was glad I have that one. I still have the Navigator. I found a patch that allows you to save rosary beads. So instead, it kind of reminds me of like the red armor from Shovel Knight, where you just drop less money. Same thing here. You just drop less rosary beads when you die. At one point I had like 1,200 rosary beads. I saved up a few, but I eventually lost them all. Or no, I actually did not lose them. I eventually did spin them. I think I still have like 300, but from having like 0 to get up to 1,200 to then spin them all and not lose them was really nice. So I'm still enjoying the game. Beating the last judge and opening the door to the Citadel, that got me into Act 2. So I'm now officially in Act 2. We'll see from there. I know plenty of people have already beat the game. The game now officially has a Metacritic score, and I want to say it's like 98. It's very high. I don't know. I use OpenCritic. I think on OpenCritic it's sitting at like a 93, which is still, I think, the highest reviewed game on OpenCritic of the year. I want to be clear. Let me see. Metacritic. Hollow Knight is sitting at Silksong is sitting at a 92. No, again, it's the stupid pillar. Silksong is sitting at a 92 on Metacritic, and on OpenCritic, the one I actually use, It is sitting at a 92 as well, which makes it the third best reviewed game of the year, which it's tied with Expedition 33, and it's behind Shujinko? I don't know. I've never heard of this game. It's only got 7 reviews, so that always happens on OpenCritic, by the way, is because of how, you know, if there's one game that only like a few critics review, but they review it very well, that pushes it all the way to the top. That's how I found out about that donut game, not Donut County, Freshly Frosted. That's how I found out about Freshly Frosted. It's because only like 7 critics had reviewed it, but they all gave it like a 9 out of 10, so it became like the best reviewed game on OpenCritic that year. It's a good game, though. Yeah. Silksong is ahead of Donkey Kong, in Death Stranding, in Split Fiction, in Blueprints, in Monster Hunter, in Kingdom Come. Holy shit. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm still enjoying Silksong. I crossed the 10-hour mark, which is nothing. I've heard some people to like 100% it are at like 70. Or at least not even 100%, just like beat the secret final boss, because you know there's going to be like a Radiant style boss fight. Like we all know that's happening. I did find there's an interesting note I did find that referenced the Worm Kingdom, which is the plot of the first game. That does not mean I know if it's a sequel or a prequel yet, but it definitely referenced it, and I was like, oh, okay, that's going to be curious to find more of those. But we'll see. It was basically an order to capture Hornet. That's what I understood it as. Alright, let's talk about The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, I said last week, The Dark Knight is one of the best movies ever made. But it's not actually a good Batman movie. It's a great movie. It's one of the best movies. But it's not a good Batman movie. And that was kind of going into it again. That was my thought. Where I was like, I'm going to really enjoy this movie. It's a good movie. But it's not a good Batman movie. Having seen it again, has my thought process changed? No, not really. I still kind of view it that same way. It's one of the best movies ever made. Heath Ledger gives one of the best performances of all time, but everybody else is amazing as well. Christian Bale, Aaron Eckhart, Michael Caine, Gary Oldman, whoever's playing Rachel because they recast the actress. I don't remember who it is now. They all give amazing 10 out of 10 performances. And it's one of the best movies ever made. But is it a good Batman movie? Not really. And I think I realized what it is. Why I always have said that. Not always, but why I've said that in recent years. Let me be clear. I haven't always said that. That take has definitely been influenced by others. But like, having not seen this movie in a few years, I realized the reason why I think that is because of the Killing Joke. Now, I'm not going to talk about Alan Moore's thoughts on the Killing Joke, you know, his regrets, his thoughts. Let's not worry about any of that. If you've read the Killing Joke, or I guess if you've seen the movie, which, to be fair, the last time I read the Killing Joke was when the movie came out. So it's been a long time. In the whole point of the Killing Joke, is that the Joker is wrong. You know, he comes in, he shoots he shoots Barbara Gordon, paralyzing her, and he also does rape her. And then he kidnaps Commissioner Gordon, tortures him, all on the premise that it takes only one bad day for anybody to become like the Joker. And at the end of the Killing Joke, he's wrong. The whole point of the Killing Joke is that the Joker is wrong. One bad day does not make somebody like the Joker. The Joker is messed up because he was always messed up. You know, family, wife, kids, all that aside, he was always messed up. There we go. That's the point of the Killing Joke. At least as I remembered. It's been years. I know there are problems with it. Seeing The Dark Knight again, it's the opposite. Sure, does the Joker claim that Harvey Dent is going to become like him? No. But it's going with that same premise of all it takes is one bad day to ruin somebody. In this case, it's not Commissioner Gordon, but Harvey Dent. The Joker comes out and he's gonna ruin Harvey Dent. Specifically, he's gonna kill Rachel. He kills Rachel, and Harvey Dent has his one bad day. Holy shit, look at that. Harvey Dent has his one bad day and becomes Two-Face. It's the Killing Joke. Admittedly, for some reason in my memory, this movie was like doing like Hush or The Long Halloween. It was taking I think the next one is Hush though. Because there are only 4 Batman stories that people give a shit about. Which sucks, by the way. I hate the fact that every Batman movie only does 4 Batman stories. Hush, The Long Halloween, The Dark Knight Returns, and The Killing Joke. Every Batman movie is one of those 4 movies. I like Matt Reeves as the Batman, but it's just those 4 comics. I hate that. That's why I'm really hopeful for whatever James Gunn is doing. I have no faith in the Batman Part 2, by the way. I have no faith in Matt Reeves' next movie. Could it be cool? Sure. But he's probably just going to do The Court of Owls, and without Damian Wayne, it's going to be a mess. I have no faith in that one. And I'm very hesitant about James Gunn's movie as well, to be fair. But it took us an hour just to find one. And then we found 3 back to back. So the Dark Knight is just the Dark Knight is just the Killing Joke. But if the Joker was right. I know he's going off and about like chaos, that he's just an agent of chaos, trying to disrupt people with their plans. I get that. And yes, Harvey Dent is just his contingency plan. And the Killing Joke, his whole shtick is that he's trying to make Commissioner Gordon into the next Joker. And this, Harvey Dent's just the contingency. It's more that, Harvey Dent is the knight. He is the hero the people need. Whereas Batman is the Dark Knight, which is the silent protector, the one that the people need even if they don't realize it. Again, there are so many great speeches and great lines. The whole, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain is a fantastic line. There are so many great moments like that. The acting's phenomenal. The writing's phenomenal. It's an amazing movie. It's one of the best movies ever made. But I don't think it's a good Batman movie because it does the Killing Joke. And it doesn't... I don't think it's a good Batman movie because it does the Killing Joke and it gets it wrong. Now, to be fair, you can do the Killing Joke wrong. If someone wants to tell a story that is the Killing Joke, but they do turn into the Joker, they have the right to do that. But that's not Batman. Now, there are some good Batman moments in here. I think when Rachel writes the letter to Bruce about how she's going to be with Harvey, and you have that over her death, and then you have Bruce give this moment of like, oh, she was going to marry me. Once we'd stopped the Joker, this was all going to work out. When, of course, he doesn't know that she wasn't going to come back for him because she was going to marry Harvey. That's a fantastic moment. The interrogation scene, I think, is great, where the entire point is just to get Batman to break his one rule of no killing. That was fantastic. Honestly, a lot of stuff with the Joker, like, Heath Ledger gives an amazing... It's his final performance, and it's his best one. It's an amazing performance. I really do love it. He does an amazing job. And yeah, every scene with him is so good. And then Batman's whole thing about, like, he hasn't been Batman that long. And his whole thing is like, oh, if, you know, every day he's Batman, somebody else is going to die. Those deaths are on him. That's also really good. So yeah, I loved The Dark Knight. It's an amazing movie. But I don't know if it's a great Batman movie. I want to say it's not a terrible... This ain't Batman and Robin. This isn't Batman Forever. Some of the animated shit. This is still a good Batman movie. But Batman Begins is a much better Batman movie. So is the Matt Reeves one. The Matt Reeves one, I think, is also a better Batman movie. I don't know. I'm definitely... Next week, I'm seeing The Dark Knight Rises. And then maybe after that, on my own, I'll watch Matt Reeves' The Batman. I'm definitely thinking about it right now. But yeah. I loved it. I still love that movie. And I'm so glad I saw it again. Seeing it on the big screen. Ah, it was so good. And like, it's 2.5 hours long. It does not feel it. Not at all. Alright, I guess that takes us to the outro. I don't have anything miscellaneous to say. So yeah. Oh, look at that. Shiny Ninetales is... I like that silver. That's a really good silver. And what's Shiny Camerupt? Yeah, you can see the blues, you can see the grayish yellows. And... Oh, it's like a blackish purple. Oh, that's nice. That's actually a really nice shiny. Ooh, I did not know that. But yeah, so next week, we might be back on Friday, we might be back on Saturday, I don't know, but hopefully next week we'll do The Dark Knight Rises, which I do not love that movie. That movie's got problems. Honestly, they remind me a lot of the Spider-Man movies. The first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie's a great origin, the second one's a great movie, and then the third one sucks. Dark Knight movies kind of work the same way. So yeah. Other than that, you know, we'll keep doing Silksong. I think Hades comes out next week. I don't know if I'll be playing it. I kind of want to beat Silksong and then go into Hades. But I also kind of want to replay... Or Hades 2, but I kind of want to replay the original. I don't know. We'll see. Next week, we're finishing off Galaxy, though. I know Galaxy 2 comes out in like 2 weeks. I'm going to finish OG Galaxy first. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to end off for tonight. You know, successful hunt. So with that... Yeah, with that, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Till next time, peace.